Hey everyone, it's Skippy, and today we're going to go over 2 weeks worth of updates to Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life. Now, I've come to realize that I sort of missed some clips that were in the Japanese trailer because I assumed the English and Japanese trailers that were released on the same day a few weeks ago were the same, and they are not. I have it playing for you right now to check it out, if you already haven't seen it. I just want to say that I love that they added different elements to this trailer compared to the English version. A lot of the clips are the same, but there are plenty that are quite different, such as our child using a fishing rod, cooking and giving it as a gift to people, seeing ourselves in the Bluebird Cafe, maybe on a date or cutscene with Nami, and the overall shots of the video are just different. And instead of seeing Cecilia's daughter grow up, we see her son instead, so that's a nice difference too. I'm really glad I found this because there's a lot of little things added into it, including Rock's daughter, and using the milker. We also get to see a lot of different shots at different angles, such as in our pasture, during the different seasons. So, now let's get into the weekly updates. On November 21st, we got a ranch life update for our second pet in the game, our cat. I knew this little guy was coming soon. I love how cute the cat is, and just like in Harvest Moon, it's a black cat, and I suspect we receive him or her from Romana in Chapter 2, like in the original. In this image of our kitty, we can see our character looking down to it. I'm not gonna lie, it sort of freaks me out. Maybe it's just a bad angle, but it looks a little off to me. It's still really cute, but in comparison to the drawn picture, it's a little different. Our dog is in the background here, and it appears to be autumn. I don't remember if the cat slept in the doghouse or on the doghouse, or maybe we'll get more options for it this time, such as taking it indoors. I'm just kind of sad that we can only have one, and it appears we only get the choice of this cutie. Romana has 2 cats at her mansion, or at least she did in the last games. So I wish we got to choose from all 3, but that's not really how it works in real life anyway, because if someone finds a new cat, they don't give you their current cat that they already have. On November 22nd, we got a ranch life update with our horse. This is something we've all been wanting to see, since riding a horse is an integral part of the game and getting around town faster. In the original games, we only had the standard colors such as this. In Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life Special Edition, there were 2 other color options, white and dark brown. Now, I think we've seen multicolored horses in the trailer so far, so I'm excited to get the option for different types. In this image, our character is calling the horse, which is pretty good if you accidentally lose him or wander around too far and you don't want to go all the way back. And in this image, our character has successfully called the horse and is riding him back toward the farm. From this angle, it looks really bulky, and I kind of like that for the model of the horse. Also, we've got a saddle now. I don't think we had one before, so the aesthetic is nice, and maybe we can change it out as well. On November 23rd, we got another ranch life update to various tools, including the hoe, watering can, and sickles. In this first image, we can see our character plowing the dirt to plant crops. We've seen a lot of images for this and video and trailers. Then our character is using the watering can to water the saplings, which I recently found out that you have to water your crops twice a day in the original. I'm really glad there's no room here for mega crops like in Stardew Valley. That'd be awful. And in this last image, we're using a scythe here to cut up the grass in our pasture. In previous games, you actually had to plant the grass in the pasture, so I'm hoping that the grass grows naturally by itself. On November 24th, we got another ranch life update with more focus on tools, but this time it included brushes, hair clippers, milkers, and fishing rods, so the tools that are geared more towards animal care. In this first image, our character is brushing our horse, which is definitely important to take care of the horse too. Even though they were never able to get sick and die in the previous games, they really like it when you care for them. I really like the animation for brushing, and the little bubbles too are really cute. In this image, we're shearing the sheep with the clippers. We've also seen this a lot too in trailers and images. Now in this one, we're seen milking one of the cows. And let me first say, I love this cow's pattern. It's so cute. And thanks to all of you in the comments from one of my previous videos on letting us all know that the tool that was at Van's shop was indeed a milker. And in this last image, we're seen again fishing on the bridge down by Vesta's. We've seen a lot of fishing footage, but this time again you can actually see some detail to the fish in the water, so I'm hoping that getting a bite on the hook is a lot like it was in the last game where you had to fish where the fish were. Now on November 25th, we got an update that led us to images captured from the camera in-game. In the first one, we see the pictures of the mountains in spring. The second is near our farm, also in spring, and shows the river. The third is where we refill our watering can, and I just want to say this is really cute. I love the design for this compared to other things that I've seen in other games. The fourth one is the bandaged lizard out in the woods, which I showcased on my community post last week. Does anyone else remember this guy? I always wanted to keep him on my farm before. And then a close-up picture of Vesta's farm with greenhouses, windmills, and crop fields. I really like that they're showing more use of the camera to give us a better glimpse at different parts of the valley. On November 28th, we got our first real look at festivals to expect. And this is something we're all really interested in because they said that they were adding a lot of different events to the game. This is showcasing the New Year's Festival located at Romana's mansion. This obviously happens in spring, and we've seen a good amount of footage for this particular event in the different chapters you go through from the trailers. I imagine this will be on the first day of the new year or the second. On November 29th, we got a second look at festivals. This one is showcasing a fireworks display, and I assume that this is in summer. It says it's a fireworks display at the beach and is an annual family event. We've seen this in the trailers a lot too, and here our character is married to Rock. And I just want to point out, this is the first time I've seen a still of Rock's child, and in the trailer at the beginning of the video. And this child is not blonde. I am a little surprised at that when you compare to Rock's child before. I'm wondering how this pans out later on, if their hair lightens, or if the color stays like that. On November 30th, we got a third look at festivals. This one is called the Harvest Festival, which I assume is in autumn. It says to bring your favorite ingredients and have a hot pot party with everyone. So, like a lot of these games, we probably put in a good quality crop and gain friendship or likeness from the villagers. Or dislike, if you put in something not so tasty. Here, we're married to Cody, and I think this is the first time we've seen his son, which I absolutely adore. He's so cute. I can't wait to see what he looks like when he gets bigger. On December 1st, we got our last look at festivals, which is the Starry Sky Festival. I assume it's in winter. It says to enjoy an adult date while listening to music under the starry sky. Okay, so this is very reminiscent to an event in Magical Melody. It's probably in other games too, but I remember in Magical Melody, one of the winter festivals was a starry night sky, just like this, and you'd go up to the mountain platform with your date or your partner and have a cute little conversation and then share a kiss. I remember being a tween and thinking it was the cutest thing ever. And as I said, here it is obviously in winter, and something I want to note that the characters' outfits do change, because if you look at Rock's here, it's a little different. I can't imagine it's just the lighting doing this effect. I also noticed this with Nami earlier in trailers. Her shirt changes color, which is pretty cool too. On December 2nd, we got an official camera introduction, which is listed as a tool. It says, let's leave various memories with the camera. You can also use the self-timer function to take pictures with your family and various residents, which is really neat. I'm wondering if it's an intelligent-based system where once you set it, the characters in the shot look to the camera, similar to other games like Animal Crossing when you whistle. In our first image, we're taking a family photo with Lumina while the baby is coloring. In the second, we're with Ruby at the inn in the kitchen. I also want to mention I love the details in here with the food and the design. I looked at this picture when I was really hungry, and it was super inviting. I'd also like to note here that the camera almost acts as a first-person perspective shot, even for a little while. So we'll get to see the finer details of inside buildings if you can't move the main camera around in them, which we don't actually know yet if the camera is stuck at a specific angle or not when indoors. In this last image, it's a photo book of all the pictures we've taken, which appear to be a maximum of 25, and that's not a lot. Now, you can always take pictures with the Switch and other consoles or your PC for screenshots, but these in-game ones have an integral part here with placement in your house. So we'll have to be really choosy on what we keep and what we discard. I kind of like it though because it makes you limit on what you really want to keep. And we also got another camera image showing Vesta in her greenhouse, tending to her crops. This wasn't on the announcement page, but I found it under a different section. I also showcased this on my community poll last week too. I have a few minor updates to the website I noticed while going through all the new information. Here is a slideshow, which I've seen before, however, I think it's different than it used to be. You can see our pasture and various slides going through the seasons of spring, summer, fall, and winter. This also includes rainy days and snowy days. I love the fogginess of the rainy days, and I hope that maybe the residents will use umbrellas when walking around in the rain. I also love the snowy look too, and how it mimics the mist of the rain, but with snow. Winter might just end up being one of my favorites for this reason. Now, this part has taken a while for them to update on the site because I check every few days. But here we can finally see an image of Kate, Grant, and Samantha's house, which is in between Wally, Chris, and Hughes on the left and Nina and Galen's on the right. It's obviously very similar to the other houses in their little neighborhood, and it looks like outside the front door they have a sign that probably has their names on it. We also got a good look at Patrick and Cassie's land, which includes their house, a shed, and an area with paint or water? I'm really interested to see what that is once we get in the game. If you already know what that is, please let me know down in the comments. We can also see the road up to Romana's mansion from here too, which we've yet to see at this angle. Now, if you've been here before, you know it's time to discuss the community poll. And in this case, we have 2 to go over since I did not post one last weekend. In my first poll, I asked what season were you most excited to play through in the game. This got 426 votes, which is awesome. Now, our winner was Autumn at 48%. I'm kind of surprised, but I think it's the richness of the colors that has got people voting for this one, or at least that's how I feel. I also hope we can see leaves falling around on windy days during this time too. Second was Spring at 24%, which makes sense because of the beautiful pink sakura trees that are going to really color the valley up. Third place, we have Winter at 16%, and I'm sort of surprised, but also not really. I disliked playing in Winter before because it really lacked of things to do because you can't farm as much, but as I said before, it may end up being my favorite depending on how it looks and feels, and if they've added extra things to do in the season as well. I always remember I was trying to rush through the end of the chapter in Winter, just sleeping and sleeping and sleeping. And last place, we had Summer at 12%. This really surprised me because most people love Summer. I think summer is going to be our busiest season with crops and money making, so I'm excited for that. In my second community poll, posted last Sunday, I asked which lovable pup are you going to choose at the beginning of your adventure, which got 668 votes. This is my most voted poll to date, which is really awesome. Thank you so much if you voted on either or both. Now I'm actually surprised by these results and how close they are. The winner is the pointy-eared dog at 56%, and then we have the floppy-eared dog at 44%. I usually chose the pointy-eared dog in Another Wonderful Life, and that was mostly because I liked the design of it better compared to the floppy-eared dog. But this time around, I think I might just choose the floppy-eared one, like a lot of you. If you didn't get a chance to cast your votes on these, comment your choices down below. And if you'd like to vote in my next poll, I post them every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, and then retrieve the data on Saturday, so you can vote all week. As always, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more updates from me. Check out my other Story of Seasons videos here, or my Stardew Valley content. See you in the next one!